This year's Carnival Miami promises something fun for everyone. At a news conference this morning, organizers announced the week-long schedule of events. The fun kicking off March 1st with an AK run and wrapping up March 10th with the world's famous Calle Ocho open house. This Friday night, a lucky young lady will be selected as this year's Queen of Carnival. Next on News 4 at 5:30.
The week-long festivities for Carnival Miami were unveiled today, and the folks who planned the world's longest conga line during the 1988 Calle Ocho street party are working on another biggie. As we did last year, thousands will jam Southwest 8th Street. This year, Calle Ocho revelers will simultaneously sing Happy Birthday, Miami to celebrate the city's centennial. The Kiwanis Club of Little Havana hopes this, too, will be a Guinness World Record.
Según Villafaña, entre el 90 y el 93, Miami perdió 1 millón de turistas debido a una imagen negativa y también debido al huracán Andrew. Pero ya la Ciudad del Sol está totalmente recuperada. Ambrosio.
Bueno, Leticia, precisamente para atraer turismo y aparentar bienestar económico, no aquí en la Florida, sino en Cuba, el régimen de Castro revivió los carnavales después de un silencio de 6 años. Y como casi todo lo que se hace en Cuba, había 2 carnavales. Uno para los que tienen dólares, el otro para la mayoría de los cubanos. El primero es mucho más animado, pero el segundo, el del pobre, resulta triste para quien recuerda los verdaderos carnavales habaneros.
There's another big story that we're following for you right now. We have just learned this one will have an impact on much of South Florida, and it has to do with those Calle Ocho celebrations that we tell you about each year.
And that's just next month, so this is having an impact already. We go to 7's Pam Gigante now at the news desk with more.
Kelly and Rick, it certainly will have an impact because over 1 million people come each year to Calle Ocho. It was scheduled for March 10th, and we have just learned Calle Ocho for this year has been canceled. You're seeing pictures of the event. Channel 7 participates quite a bit in this with going to the event and broadcasting it live. Once again, about 1 million people usually come out to Calle Ocho each year. It has been canceled. The annual event is sponsored by the Kiwanis of Little Havana each year during Carnival Miami. They have let us know that they have canceled it this year because of the situation, because of what has happened with the planes being shot down. They're going to hold a press conference tomorrow to give us some more information perhaps about why they're going to do this and if they're going to do anything in lieu of Calle Ocho, such as some type of a protest. We will find that out tomorrow when they hold the press conference. Once again, breaking news just coming into us. Calle Ocho for this year, it was going to be March the 10th, has been canceled. From the news desk, Pam Gigante, 7 News.
Yeah, and obviously enough, Pam, that would involve Calle Ocho, Paseo, and Carnival Miami, the 3 huge money-making events for this town.
Craig, an extremely popular South Florida event will not be held this year, a result of the 2 planes being shot down. The Kiwanis Club of Little Havana says it is canceling Calle Ocho. It is an event that attracts about 1 million people every year to the area of Southwest 8th Street. More details are scheduled to come out tomorrow as a news conference will be held.
Straight ahead on this special edition of 7 News at 6:30.
An unprecedented announcement is being made by the Kiwanis Club of Little Havana. Because of last night's incident, Calle Ocho this year is being canceled. Kiwanis officials say the multi-million-dollar festival will simply not happen this year. They say it would be wrong to celebrate on the streets of South Florida after such a tragic event. The event, which lasts a full week and attracts hundreds of thousands of people to South Florida, is also televised live to millions of people throughout Latin America. There are reports the event will be replaced with a protest march. Details will likely be announced tomorrow.
Still ahead from the Newsplex tonight. Probably nothing less than yesterday's incident could prompt the cancellation of one of Miami's most lavish festivals. But it has. Reporter Connie Hicks tells us the decision has now been made. No Carnival, no Calle Ocho this year.
It's outrageous, big, loud. It's many things, this 10-day festival that starts with the Carnival and the Orange Bowl and ends with some 1 million people descending into Little Havana for Calle Ocho. But it isn't anything this year.
I don't think the Cuban community is in the mood for partying. and Carnival Miami is partying time.
The presumed deaths of 4 men, the outrage over the missiles fired at 2 small unarmed planes, dampened enthusiasm for a festival that brings more than $2 million from sponsors, that brings in Hispanics, non-Hispanics, tourists, lots of publicity, lots of money.
Everybody's devastated, and it's really, how would I say, I mean, if they could cancel it for maybe some other time, perfect, but maybe for this time it should.
Even though you're going to take a big hit in the purse.
Yeah.
No week-long party of food and music. Little Havana is quiet on a Sunday night, so word of the cancellation leaked out slowly.
Really? I didn't know.
But in the little cafeterias along the street, over cafecitos, word spreads. Along the street, there was understanding.
A lot of people have reservations, and they have plans, and they have, airplane tickets and all that. And all of a sudden, to cut it, it's going to have some problems. But I believe that people are understanding.
And most, if not all, business owners support the cancellation.
I'm mad because financially it's going to hurt us. I think it's right because of what's happened.
For the first time in 18 years, there will be no world's largest open house, just another night, like the others, on Calle Ocho. In Little Havana, Connie Hicks, Channel 10, Eyewitness News.
The event's organizers, the Kiwanis Club of Little Havana, say they will not reschedule the event for later this year, but plan to continue the tradition next year.
In the wake of this weekend's tragedy, there will be no celebrations next month for Carnival Miami, including Calle Ocho, one of South Florida's biggest festivals, canceled in light of this tragedy. The Kiwanis Club of Little Havana said today it could not hold a celebration during this time of mourning. In fact, organizers are now in the process of setting up trust funds for the families of the downed pilots.
We join the mourning of the families affected and the entire community. We have had overwhelming support in this decision from the community, the merchants, and our sponsors.
The festival was supposed to take place March 1st through the 10th, drawing more than 1 million people.
Anger and tears flood Miami's Cuban exile community tonight. Family, friends, and perfect strangers mourning the pilot shot down at sea. That's why organizers are canceling Carnival Miami, one of the world's largest Latin celebrations that was supposed to start this weekend.
A South Florida tradition is broken today as the Kiwanis Club of Little Havana canceled their annual Carnival Miami celebrations.
We decided that we would not host a celebration of Cuban and Latin American heritage at a time of mourning. The Kiwanis Club of Little Havana is therefore canceling this year's Carnival Miami festivities.
It's been 18 years since the first Calle Ocho, which has now grown to what's been touted as the largest block party in the world. Not only have the events attracted millions of people worldwide, but it also has brought millions of dollars in revenue to this community.
It's an event that brings in millions of dollars into Miami. We have never put a figure on it. We don't know the definite amount of that money, but we obviously know there's going to be an impact.
And how about the sponsors which have already invested thousands of dollars on an event that will never be, at least not in 1996?
We have had overwhelming support in this decision from the community, the merchants, and our sponsors, which include local companies, as well as many Fortune 500 companies.
After meeting for over 36 hours, the members came to a unanimous decision.
Even this festival, the largest of its kind in our nation, will be canceled in support of sending a message to all nations of the world that these acts are reprehensible.
The Kiwanis Club of Little Havana is in the process of setting up a trust fund for those interested in making contributions for the families in order to assist them spiritually as well as financially during these most difficult moments.
Perhaps the most public indication of the impact on South Florida's Cuban community is the decision to cancel Carnival Miami. The two-week celebration, which culminates in the Calle Ocho street party, has been called off this year. As Carmel Cafaro reports, the community is in no mood for a party.
Calle Ocho last year drew 1 million merrymakers to Little Havana, but there will be no dancing in the streets this year. The Kiwanis Club of Little Havana is in mourning, evidenced by the black ribbon across its seal and lapel ribbons on its members.
We cannot have a carnival, which is a festive environment, when a time that we are all mourning.
Club President Tony Gotia says the decision to cancel the two-week carnival celebration was a unanimous one. Instead of planning a party, he says the club is starting a trust fund for the families of those shot down off Cuba. The full economic impact of the multi-million-dollar celebration is not clear. Since this is largely a local party, tourist officials do not have firm figures on dollars generated. And the Kiwanis Club says it doesn't know how much the festival makes. But it says vendors will get refunds, and so far sponsors have supported the decision.
This is not in any way, shape, or form a financial decision.
It is a message apparently understood on the streets of Little Havana.
No.
There are no arguments with the decision to call off the celebration, even from owners of small restaurants. At Casablanca, the manager says Calle Ocho is its biggest day of the year, but the decision to cancel is understood.
So you're not disturbed then at the decision this year? You think it was the right thing to do?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
The true economic impact of this year's decision may never be known. For example, how do you judge the loss to a woman who sells sweets from a street cart and then multiply it by hundreds?
But what is crystal clear is the message. This is no time to celebrate. In Little Havana, I'm Carmel Cafaro, 7 News.
We will have continuing coverage of this still developing story. When we get new information, we will bring it to you.
A whole lot of money will be lost by shopkeepers and vendors in Little Havana as the Kiwanis Club officially canceled Calle Ocho. South Florida's largest street festival will not be held this year because of the Cuban air crisis. Reporter Lev Davalos was there as the club spread the word.
On March 1st, it would have been the 18th year for Carnival Miami and the Calle Ocho festivities, but there won't be any dancing in the streets this year. Today, the president of the Kiwanis Club of Little Havana officially announced the cancellation by unanimous vote. Tony Goitia says the loss of the 4 members of Brothers to the Rescue made it impossible to continue with the festivities.
We unite in solidarity behind the families, behind our community, and the free world, to show that even this festival, the largest of its kind in our nation, will be canceled in support of sending a message to all nations of the world that these acts are reprehensible.
The 10 days of festivities usually bring in millions of dollars to Miami. But even so, Goitia says he's received hundreds of letters and faxes supporting the decision from the festival sponsors. But some of the merchants along Calle Ocho are disappointed.
I was expecting a lot of, make some money here.
Carlos Arras owns Cheese and Grill Pizza Place. He was hoping to cash in on the carnival, but supports the decision.
I guess it's one way to show or to demonstrate that, the problem that, Castro is making to all of the people in Miami.
Yes, we are going to lose money. It's real that we are going to lose money, but it's real that the carnival don't have to be.
While most people we talked to did agree that the Calle Ocho Carnival should be canceled, others said that it would only make a bad situation even worse.
I think it's going to hurt the people here more, and I don't think they should cancel it.
But whether the merchants like it or not, it's a decision that won't soon be forgotten. Lev Davalos, Channel 10, Eyewitness News.
Cuban Americans say now is not the time to party. Today, the Kiwanis Club of Havana officially canceled the nation's largest street festival, Calle Ocho. Many merchants say they will lose money, but they say they back the Cuban community. The Kiwanis Club says that it wants the world to know the attack was a disgrace.
Y Angie, haciéndose eco del sentir popular, los kiwanis de la pequeña Habana decidieron cancelar las festividades del próximo Carnaval Miami. Luna del Río tiene más.
El Festival de la Calle 8 estaba listo para comenzar. Las festividades serían este fin de semana. Sin embargo,
ha sido cancelado en desacuerdo de este aborrecible acto ocurrido y enviar un mensaje a todas las naciones del mundo.
los kiwanis determinaron en forma unánime que es necesario que en este caso el exilio cubano dé muestras de solidaridad. Y por supuesto la pregunta obligada es, ¿cuánto significará en pérdidas, o sea, en dólares y centavos, esta decisión?
Pues el impacto, los estimados más o menos pueden ser de 10 a 15 millones de dólares que dejan de entrar por los diferentes patrocinadores que vienen, las diferentes actividades que toman lugar aquí. Este es un evento que atrae millones de personas, pero miles de personas que vienen de afuera.
Pero a pesar de las pérdidas, parece que la idea no ha caído mal, incluso entre los patrocinadores que más tenían invertido.
La reacción oficialmente de la compañía AT&T es de respetar la decisión adoptada por los Kiwanis de la Pequeña Habana y apoyarlos en las actividades que ellos desean implementar.
Todo el mundo entiende que es una situación muy difícil, que va a afectar la economía de algunas personas, pero que en este tiempo de luto que tenemos aquí en nuestra comunidad, no es el tiempo apropiado para un festival.
Por ahora no se ha determinado cuál será el procedimiento a seguir para devolver dineros y romper contratos. Lo que sí es un hecho es que este año en la calle 8 no se bailará ni se cantará. Será el luto lo que prevalecerá. Lourdes del Río, Noticiero 51.
En breve el estado general del tiempo.
No se vaya.
Aquí en Miami crece la indignación entre los exiliados cubanos.
Nos unimos al luto de todas las familias afectadas y a la de nuestra comunidad.
Los carnavales y la fiesta de la calle 8, tradiciones de fama mundial traídas a Miami por la comunidad cubana, han sido cancelados este año. Los organizadores dicen que este no es un momento de fiesta. En Miami, Ricardo Brown, Telenoticias.
La crisis cubana.
Y otro acto de solidaridad ha sido la cancelación del Festival de la Calle 8 que normalmente se realiza en nuestra ciudad. El anuncio fue hecho oficialmente esta tarde por el presidente del Club de los Kiwanis de la Pequeña Habana. Los Kiwanis están organizando un fondo para los familiares de los desaparecidos.
Y cuando regresemos...